Have you ever found yourself completely captivated by something? Maybe a beautiful person passing by, a breathtaking sunset, or even an idea that lingers in your mind. At first, it seems innocent, you simply notice it. But soon, it becomes more than that. A quick glance turns into a stare. A passing thought turns into an obsession. And before you know it, you are no longer in control. Your attention is no longer yours. It has been taken. Now, this might seem like a small thing, but think about it. What does it mean to lose control of your attention? What happens when something outside of you, someone else, an object, a desire, begins to dictate what you focus on? We don't usually think about it this way, but attention is one of the most valuable things we have. It shapes our experience of life. It defines what we learn, how we feel, and even who we are. Yet, so often, we give it away without even realizing it. Jean-Paul Sartre, the great existentialist philosopher, speaks about the look. He says that when someone looks at us, we become aware of being observed. And in that moment, we are no longer just ourselves, we are reduced to an object in their world. Think about that for a moment. The moment you seek someone's approval, the moment you try to impress, you stop being fully yourself. You become something to be judged, something to be admired, or even something to be ignored. You lose a part of your freedom, and that's where the problem begins. Because once you become aware that you are being looked at, you start acting differently. You start adjusting yourself. Instead of just existing as you are, you start performing for others. But here's the question, if you are performing, are you still you? Or have you become something else? Sartre would say that this transformation from a person into an object is a kind of shame. Because to be turned into a mere thing in someone else's world is to lose a piece of your being. It means your freedom, your focus, your attention, everything that makes you you, is being dictated by someone else. But let's take this idea further. Imagine for a moment that attention is like a flowing river, a continuous, uninterrupted stream. If that's true, then every distraction, every moment where your mind is pulled away, is like throwing stones into the river. It disrupts the flow. It breaks the natural rhythm. And what's worse, these distractions don't just take your attention in that moment. They leave a mark. They make it harder for you to return to your original state. And here's where things get even more interesting. When we lose focus like this, when our attention is taken from us, it creates a strange feeling. It makes us feel poor in a way that is hard to describe. It's like we only had a little attention to begin with, and now even that has been stolen. Imagine a beggar with just a few coins. He doesn't have much, but it's his. Now imagine someone comes along and takes those coins away. What's left? A sense of emptiness, a sense of lack. And this is exactly what happens when we lose our attention to distractions. We feel like beggars, desperate to get it back, but never quite succeeding. But what if there was a different way? Jiddu Krishnamurti, one of the great thinkers of the 20th century, speaks about undivided attention. He says that real awareness, true focus, is not about fighting distractions. It's not about constantly trying to pull our attention back. Instead, it's about being so completely present that nothing can take your attention away. Think about that. What if your attention could not be stolen? What if, no matter what happened around you, your mind remained clear, focused, undisturbed? That would mean no more distractions, no more interruptions, no more feeling like a beggar searching for scraps of focus. It would mean complete freedom of the mind. But here's the challenge. Most of us don't realize how scattered our attention really is. We think we are in control, but in reality, our minds are constantly being pulled in different directions. Every time we scroll through social media, every time we check our phones, every time we chase after a fleeting distraction, we are giving away a piece of our focus. And the more we do it, the harder it becomes to stay present. So the real question is, how do we reclaim our attention? The answer isn't about discipline or willpower. It's not about forcing ourselves to focus. It's about understanding the value of attention. When you realize that attention is the most precious thing you have, you start treating it differently. You stop giving it away so easily. You stop letting the world pull you in 100 different directions. Instead, you start practicing presence. You start observing your own mind. You start noticing when your attention is being stolen. And most importantly, you stop identifying with every little thought, every little distraction. You learn to just be. And when you do that, something incredible happens. You stop feeling like a beggar. You stop feeling like you are constantly losing something. Instead, you become the master of your own mind. And in that mastery, there is peace. So, the next time something tries to steal your attention, whether it's a beautiful face, a social media notification, or a passing thought, ask yourself, is this worth my focus? Or am I just giving away my most valuable possession? Because in the end, the difference between freedom and mental slavery is simple. Who controls your attention? Think about it.